what shall I do? Like, what's this? Let me go camera. What? Camera. Yes. Now it's better time to learn some math.
Welcome to Math with Mr. J.
Ooh.
In this video, we are going to be covering simplifying fractions. And simplifying fractions is something you have to do at the end of most fraction problems. When simplifying fractions, it is very important to know that you are not changing the value of any of the fractions. You are just breaking it down to its simplest form. It is an equivalent fraction in value. So at the top of your screen, you have the steps to simplifying fractions. Think of and list of factors for both your numerator and denominator. Find the greatest common factor, and then you divide by that greatest common factor to find the simplest form of the fraction. Top of your screen, you have the step breaking it down to its simplest form. It is an equivalent fraction in value with Mr. J. In this video, we are going to be covering simplifying fractions. And simplifying fractions is something you have to do at the end of most fraction problems. When simplifying fractions, it is very important to know that you are not changing the value of any of the fractions. You are just breaking it down to its simplest form. It is an equivalent fraction in value. So at the top of your screen, you have the steps to simplifying fractions. Think of and list of factors for both your numerator and denominator. Find the greatest common factor, and then you divide by that greatest common factor to find the simplest form of the fraction you're simplifying. Now, before we start here with the 4 fractions on your screen that we're going to simplify, I would like to say simplifying fractions, you'll become more confident and much better at these with more practice and the more you do. You'll even be able to start doing more of these mentally and start breaking them down once you get the hang of it. But to start off, we're going to list the factors and really write everything out until we get really good at this. So, like I mentioned, you have 4 fractions on your screen that we're going to simplify. If at any point you feel confident enough to go ahead of me or try some on your own, feel free to do so, or work through all 4 with me. So let's jump right in to number 1. So for number 1 here, we have 8/12, and we want to break that fraction down to its simplest form. So our first step, we need to think of and list all the factors for 8 and 12. And factors are the numbers that can multiply to get us 8 and multiply to get us 12. So all the facts that equal 8 and 12 are all the numbers. So let's do 8 first. We're going to list all the factors of 8. And whenever you're making a factor list, you want to start with the number 1 and the number itself. 1 times 8 is 8. So we start with 1, and its partner is going to be 8. So I'm going to put some space between that 1 and 8 in case there's any other factors in there that we can add. So let's think. Are there any other numbers or math facts that can get us 8 when we multiply them together? Well, 2 can go into 8 and 4. 2 times 4 is 8. So let's add those to our factor list. And that's actually all the numbers that can go into 8, right? Or multiply into 8. So let's do 12 now. Let's make our factor list.
So 2 divided 12 is 6. And 2 divided 8 is... It's... let me think. 6... 4. So 4 and 6. Now 6 divided 2 equals to 3. And 4 divided 2 equals to 2. So the smallest number I can ever think of is 2 and 3. And I think that's the answer. So I don't care. Let's start the video.
So let's start with the number 1 and 12 itself. 1 times 12 is 12. And then 12 is even, so we know that 2 can multiply to get 12. And its partner, 2 times 6. Both 2 and 6 are a factor of 12. And there's one more pair here. So we have 1 and 12 as a pair of factors, 2 and 6. Anything else that can equal 12? Hopefully we're thinking 3 and 4. Now, let's take a look at our list. Do we have any in common? Well, 1, 2, and 4. We want to find the greatest common, and it's going to give us. So 2/3 is the simplest form of 8/12. And again, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, 2/3 is equivalent. It holds the same value as 8/12. We just broke that original fraction down to its simplest form. And a very common or typical question is, how do I know when I...
3 divided 21 is equals to, let me think. 3 divided 21. What is 3 divided 21? 3 divided 21 is 7. So the answer must be 3 and 7. Oh wait. I don't know. Let's just skip to that part.
am done simplifying. And when you have a numerator that we can break this fraction down by. No, the only common factor is 1. So this is done and simplified. All right, number 3.
Okay, so now let's see. 10 divided 30. 10, 10, 10. Wait a second. It can be 5, or 2, or 1. I'm so confused. Let's see how we do it. Wow.
We have 10/30ths. And I'm going to do this one a little bit different because once you get to the list for 10, the factors of 10, well, I know 1 and 10. And I also know 2 times 5 gives me 10. So that's the complete list of factors for 10. So let's do 30. Well, I know 1 times 30 is 30, right?
Yes, I know it.
Let's think. I know 2 and 15.
How do
I know 3.
Finally. Let me think. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Ah. 10. 5. Yes. 5 divided 30 equals 6. And 5 divided 10 equals 2. I think the answer is 2, 6. Isn't it?
And 10. I did not give myself enough space there, so I'm going to write a couple below. I know by 2. And we get or I'm sorry, not 15, 5 over 15. Now, if we take a look at 5 and 15, is there a number, a common factor between 5 and 15?
Okay. So it's okay. So it becomes 6. Right. 5. I don't care. I go to the other one. Let's go to 5. 5 divided 40 equals 8. 15 divided 5 equals 3. 3 and 8. I think the answer is 3 and 8. Let me check. Let me.
1. Well, I know 1 and 3 are the only factors of 3. But 3's not a factor of 8. So the only common factor between 3 and 8 is actually 1. So this is done. You are simplified with that 3/8. So there you have it. There's how you can simplify fractions. Hopefully that helped. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, peace.